afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Sol y Punto. This is a knitting podcast about everything fiber, knitting, natural dyes, adventures, herbalism, plants. My name is Nicole and I am a New Yorker living in the south of Spain, here in Granada, in lovely Granada. And yeah, I'm so excited to be here. It has been a while, but that's okay. Sometimes life takes you on other missions and then we come back to our projects, right? So I wanted to come today and talk to you about everything. Today's episode is going to be about all of the things I've done in the past 12 months, knitting wise, fiber wise, all of that. A lot of natural dyes. As you can see what I'm wearing, a naturally dyed crochet top, because yes, I started crocheting in the past 12 months. And at the end, there's always a section about herbs or plants. I'm a self-proclaimed herbalist. I believe that there's no institution in the United States that licenses herbalists, so I'm an herbalist. And yeah, so I always like to highlight a plant. We have so many previous episodes. If this is the first time that you're here, welcome. But I highly recommend you go back to the beginning to see all of the adventures and all of the interviews. I'm really proud of the amazing guests I had and really excited to share them with you all. And there are a lot of people who came on to speak about what they do in fiber. And hopefully coming up soon, I'll have some more conversations with people, because I think that's a really nice way to connect and to share. And yeah, so many things. Today it is August 19th. It's about 7 p.m. the end of summer, end of the day. Really not the end of summer, because I think technically the summer ends on the autumn equinox, which is the end of September. So we've still got time, but you can feel it in the air. You can feel that it's getting cooler. And that's nice, because we love autumn weather so that we can wear our fiber. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, well, then you are about to be in summer, and that's amazing as well. So, you're about to be in spring. Okay. As always, we time travel, so maybe this next segment will be in the future, in the past. We're gonna go around. But thanks for being here, and thanks for checking in. Thanks for all the messages. It's always lovely. And I hope that you are crafting and doing things, and I would love to see what you're making. So send me messages over on Instagram or via email. Okay, more things. Super easy. If you know how to do crochet, you can do this. Can you do a granny square? I couldn't do a granny square until I learned from YouTube. There's a million videos about how to do granny squares. So you just do a granny square and keep going until you get the length you want. So I wanted my top to be wider than it is long, as you can see. So I just kept going until I had the length I want. I had to kind of imagine, because I knew that it was going to grow a little bit with blocking, because that's what yarn tends to do. It gets a little bit bigger, stretches all out. So I stopped when I had a little bit less than the length I wanted. And then I decided how much I wanted the neck to be by just holding it up to me. And then I found this really cool bind off connector thing of crochet on YouTube. Just look for how to join granny squares with a cool join. And I found that. And I did it, and I was like, oh, that's fun. So, oh no, that's the side. That's not the shoulder. Here's the shoulder. So I did that, and then, I know, it's genius. So then I just like started crocheting here and went all the way up the shoulder and down the other side and back and forth until I had the width that I thought I was gonna want here, like that. And then I did that cool connector thing again, and that's it. And then I did it on the other side. And obviously in different colors, because we have to have fun. I mean, we don't have to do the same color, so you just go do, 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 do. And this is, I don't know, a double crochet, a single crochet, I don't know what that is. I think I had to figure out like the spacing so that it wouldn't be too much. I think you can see what I did. I don't know what I did. These are like three double crochets, and then like to do this flat border, I guess I put 2 for every 3, something like that. I don't know, figure it out, see what looks good. With crochet it's really fun, you could just rip it out if it doesn't work, so it's perfect. And I love it, and it's all naturally dyed. So we've got some cochineal, like this is cochineal with baking soda. And where's the like 3 cochineals? Here we have some 3 cochineals. So we've got regular cochineal by itself, cochineal with baking soda, and cochineal with lemon. Oh my God. And then we've got like the Hypericum, and then we've got Vitex. I love these like yellowy cool greens, the Vitex. And because this is superwash yarn, the colors are quite bright because superwash yarn takes color a lot stronger. So here's some more cochineal, Palo Campeche logwood. This was like a solar dye thing that I did, so it's a little bit like variegated. So I use that as the front because it's more subtle, and then the back, which it is totally reversible, but we've got pink in the middle. This has been my pink year. Just wait, because I've got lots of pink coming. Yeah, so I love it. I love this crochet top. Super easy. You can make one too. And I want to thank Shayla. Shayla, I thanked you in the Spanish version, but I think you're probably watching the English version because you're so good at English, right? And I wanted to thank her because she got me, sorry, I'm getting my necklace out. She got me my first crochet hooks from Delana in Sevilla. Virginia, who's also another Kami knitter, someone who walks on the Camino de Santiago, will talk about that. That's another knitting adventure. And Shayla sent me some crochet hooks, which is awesome, and started me on my crochet adventure. And I made a blanket for my new baby niece, who's adorable. And I'll put a picture of that here. Yes. And so I made that blanket first, and there are lots of really fun yarns in that blanket. And then I was like, well, I want to make a crochet top. I could just make a blanket and then sew it together with crochet. So I did that. So that's what I did, and I love it, and I hope you make one too, and you can do it, because we can figure these things out and just like be creative with it. Like, I'm such a fan of making a square in knitting or crochet, and then like seaming the sides, and then you've got like this cool like crochet summer top that you can wear over dresses or like with a skirt or something. Super fun. Okay, more things. Hello. So here we are inside of a magnolia. I'm just at a park near my house. You might hear the sounds of the street, the sounds of the fountain, but I just wanted to be close to home and share a little bit more. Getting back into this podcasting thing, yeah, it's difficult. I think when you leave something for a while, it seems overwhelming and daunting to come back to it. And I'm just like, well, I'll just do the podcast from around the corner. So today I am wearing my Agave. Let's see if I can like stand up inside the tree. It has a really cute, oh, you gotta balance, a really cute bottom. I'm gonna be embarrassed if people walk by and they're like, why is this girl talking to the tree? No, it's fine. So this is the Agave top. And this I knit with a linen blend. I think it was like linen and bamboo. And it's knit on like a really open gauge. The pattern is just like one size. I will have all the information down below. And I wanted to talk about this top because it is the perfect example of knitting something in one color and then dyeing it. So I'm gonna insert a video here, but you're gonna see this top in a yellow color because this was a yellow yarn, and actually the back is speckled because I had two skeins and they were different. It's reversible. I made one side longer than the other, because it's just knit in two pieces. So you knit a square, which is my new favorite thing. And then I think I invented this as well. It had like sleeves, but I just used the pattern of the lace and just knit out like back and forth this way, and then bound off around the arm and then connected down here on the side. But it's very nice, and I love to wear my little tops over a dress or something. And yes, so this was yellow. It was like this bright yellow color, and I was like, I'm not gonna wear, I don't know. I wore it for like a day as a yellow top, and I knew that it was going to go into the dye pot. So I dyed it with some logwood. No, that is a lie. Madder root? Of course, madder root. Logwood would have been purple or blue, or chocolate brown if it's in an acidic environment. Like this had been acid dyed, and it was a yarn that I won in a giveaway, and it was two skeins, and I had them in my stash for the longest time, and I was like, I need to make something with it. So I made this, and actually I can take it off and show you so you can see what it looks like. But the fun part is that you knit it in one color, you can wear it for some time in that color, and then you can turn it into something else. So this is the back that has this like speckle. It was like a speckled yellow. And then this is the front. And I say it's the front just because it's a little bit shorter. I mean, I like it better in the front shorter, but if I wanted to turn it around, I totally could. So this is the Agave top. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because I wanted to explain that you can re-dye your projects. No, I wanted to inspire you all into naturally dyeing. If you have questions about natural dyes, if you want to know more, please reach out to me. I do have like a workbook and a class available, but I would be happy to answer you directly. Any questions, send me an email, write to me on Instagram, leave a comment down below, and be happy to talk to you about natural dyes. But you could knit something. Imagine. So, you know the top I was wearing in the previous segment, the crochet one? Imagine if you crocheted a top like that one in a million different scraps. Totally different colors, all different things. But then, once it was finished, you put that whole thing into a dye pot and dyed it one color. It would be like an over dye. You know when you're like painting and you do like an overlay of a watered down or like oil painted down, like more diluted paint, and you put it over and it gives everything like a wash of that color. You could do that. Imagine if you made a top or a sweater or whatever, a scarf with scraps that were like not combining colors, but then you put it all together as a finished project into a dye bath and unified the colors with a wash. So today I brought my little FO of this podcast. I have lots of FOs. I've got whips. My little whip of this episode. I've got lots of FOs that I'm going to be showing you in the future, whenever I feel like it. No pressure. Hi. It is the Gardener motorcycles. Very fast around here. So this is a little whip that I'm working on for my friend's daughter because she wanted a top like mine and she wants it in this color. But I was thinking, if I were to make this for myself, I don't think I would wear this color, but imagine I work all of the scraps around in crazy colors, but then I put it in a dye bath and it unifies everything. So I also wanted to show you the crochet hook that I'm using. It is a tulip 4.5 millimeter to do my little crochet top. And so you just do a granny square and just keep going. And then I'm going to measure it with my friend's daughter and see how it goes, and then I'll do the back side, and then I will join the sides, and she's got a cute little summer top. Maybe I'll even give her sleeves. So yeah, you can dye your projects. You can put them in a dye bath after you have knit them, and you can dye with things that you have in your kitchen. You can use pomegranate skins, and the pomegranate skins have a lot of tannins, so it doesn't even require a mordant. So you could just put it in your spaghetti pot, like in a cooking pot, you know. Typically with natural dyes and dyeing, I say that it's a good idea to have like designated pots and utensils for it. But if you're gonna be dyeing with something that you can eat, I don't know. I mean, if you're over dyeing a yarn, you don't know what it has been treated with. So yes, maybe have separate designated pots and utensils for dyeing. But you can use things from your house. You don't even need a mordant if you're using something with a lot of tannins, like black tea, coffee, pomegranate skins. There's a lot. Onion skins is really nice. Maybe with onion skins I would use a mordant, and you'll get like a really beautiful golden color. But remember, it's going to be like a wash over other colors possibly. There's a lot you can do, and I want to inspire you to use your scraps and get things out of the stash and knit something beautiful. Okay, more things. Okay, now I have it on this way, so you can see both sides. So I wanted to just show you another finished top, which this is like my 5th of this top. This is my Sol y Yodo. Yes, we love the Sol y Yodo. This is my design. It is super easy. You don't even need the pattern, but if you want the pattern, it's like a pattern recipe. You can find it on Ko-Fi, on Ravelry, but it's super simple. And you can knit it in whatever yarn you want. This is a cotton yarn, and like I have a whole bunch of, they're even a little bit different weights. This pink was a pink that I had received in like an Advent exchange a million years ago. This blue is an indigo dyed cotton. This is just a gray cotton. And then this down here, this one is really fun. This I bought with my grandmother in a secondhand shop in New York a million years ago. And it's so pretty because it's like creamish sand shell color plus a little bit of pink and a little bit of blue. And I'm like, oh, it pulls the pink and the blue together on the other side because it's reversible. Like if I want to be in my pink era, I could do a little pink. It's like a corally pink. And if not, I can be more not pink and have the other side. But I love how this like creamy, sandy color brings in the pink and the blue of the rest of the top. So this is a Sol y Yodo made out of cotton. The pattern is super, like it's a recipe. Like it's nice because you knit like the 2 squares, and then you can even block it and see how it fits. And then if you want it to be wider, you just go out, you pick up on these sides. It's all explained in the pattern, like how to figure out the numbers, how to figure out like what you should start with, you know, like you need to have kind of know where how many to do. But look, I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats of the lace. But imagine if you were knitting it with a thinner yarn, maybe you want to do a little bit more, a thicker yarn, you want to do a little bit less. But you can figure that out with a gauge swatch if you want to do a gauge swatch. And yeah, I think it is a wonderful summer top. I'm going to put it on. Ready? Magic! Yeah, so I'll stand up a little bit so you can see. It's not that long and it's a little bit flipped up. Let's see if I can hold myself up. And you can see how the bottom has like the scalloped shape, and it's nice. I wore it the other day and like it had cooled down in the evening so much that it was really nice to put this on. Like I was just wearing the black dress and then I like had this in my bag and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be nice and like comfortable in the cool breeze of the late summer evening. By the way, today is August 22nd. Tomorrow is the new moon in Virgo. The astrology is all here. Yeah. So, Sol y Yodo top. There are a lot of them in my life. It's a very special creation, design, and this is my Atlantic version. I knit some of it while I was in New York visiting my family at Jones Beach on Long Island, a wonderful place which holds so many special memories for me. And yeah, so I think that's it. I think we're just gonna go straight into the plants right now because I don't want this episode to be too long. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, and this way we save a lot of things for the future. And I wanted to show you all that in the Spanish version that I was recording, I realized that we have a co-host in the magnolia tree. The magnolia tree that I have already decided that I want a lot of my episodes to come from because it's just really close to my house, super easy. And it's like fun because I'm using the magnolia as my tripod. But you have to see look at my co-host. I have a co-host up in the tree. And it is a stuffed dog of bright, vibrant colors. Hello. I don't know who put that there or why, but it's there. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm happy to be back. And I'm excited to share things with you, and I hope that you write me lots of comments and tell me what you're doing. What are you knitting? Have you knit a Sol y Yodo? Have you knit a Agave tea? No? Yes? Maybe? Well, you should. Start now. Okay. On to the plants. Thank you. Love you. Ciao. And here we are in our segment about the plants. I am in the park of the Alhambra underneath some chestnut trees, and you may hear the sound of bike riders, families, the sound of the water trickling down the hill, but I hope it's not bothersome. I wanted to share about our plant of the day, of the week, of the month. Schisandra chinensis. Schisandra berry. Oh my gosh, such an amazing berry. Do you know Schisandra? I had heard about Schisandra for a long time, but I had never tried it until just a few weeks ago when I bought myself a kilo bag from iherb.com. I use it like the app of iherb, like iPhone iherb, like the letter I. It works if you want to buy herbs, plants out of the United States, which is what I do living here in Europe. And Schisandra I couldn't find in any of the herbal shops, but Susan Weed read a poem. Maybe I could read you the poem. It's quite long. I will share the poem. And the poem just was so beautiful that I was like, I need Schisandra in my life. So I got some, and oh my gosh, it is known as the magnolia berry. Well, you know I love magnolias, but it's also called the 5 flavored fruit. And wow, it really is 5 flavors. It's crazy. Like, it is salty, sweet, spicy, sour, and bitter. Like all 5 flavors. Like that's where the Chinese medicine says that it's like super tonic and powerful for like so many different systems in the body. Like it's good for our lungs, for our liver, for our brain, for our heart, for our blood. Just like strengthens the chi. It gives you all. It's an adaptogen. If you've never heard the term adaptogen is like, I think I've heard that there are like only 10 or 11 herbs that are actually considered adaptogens. But it's basically a plant that is like super nutritive, no problem. Like it's almost like considered like a food. Like you can have it whenever you want. It's nothing dangerous at all. And it is very beneficial for the body to increase resistance to stress and disease. So just like all around amazing. Like this plant is pretty magic, pretty amazing, pretty cool. It is native to northern China, Russia, the Far East, and in the US it can grow like normally in zone 4, which is pretty quite north, like almost up near Canada in the United States. And it likes cold weather. I've heard that like the berries that are grown in the colder areas of like the north of China and Mongolia and that area are the most nutritive and beneficial. It like climbs up trees to get better light. It is grown like grapevines. It's interesting because you need like both male and female plants to fertilize the berries, although there is a hybrid version called the Eastern Prince, which has self-fertilized flowers. So this plant, normally you plant the seeds in the spring, or I think you can also do like cuttings and stuff, but you plant in spring and it will grow until late summer. So you harvest late summer. And the berries are what we use, although I think that the leaves can also be used as like a vegetable, but most of the time when people talk about Schisandra, they talk about the berry. The people of Japan used it to prevent colds and seasickness, which is interesting. It's very like astringent, so I guess that could be good for like nauseas and stuff, so that's cool. It enhances physical performance and endurance, supports the liver function, detoxifies the liver if we're worried about toxification, although my guru Susan Weed says that we are not dirty or toxic, so there's nothing to be detoxified. We want to nourish our liver, which is what this plant does. It also boosts cognitive function. It has antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties. It can serve as a tonic to improve vitality and to combat fatigue, but not in like a cocaine jittery kind of way. It's one thing that's interesting about this plant, and a lot of plants in my experience, is that they help to like modulate. Like if you need to go up, it'll bring you up. If you need to go down, it'll bring you down. But it doesn't have like a one directional action, you know, like with your blood pressure. Imagine if it is a modulator, then it's going to help your blood pressure not be too high and not be too low, like bring you like to what would be normal in your body, which everybody's body is different. And now we've got little kids running by, telling their stories, playing and whatever. But yeah, an amazing plant. I highly recommend. And what else did I learn about it? I heard that it can calm your mind. No, quiet your mind and calm your heart. I don't think you want to quiet your heart, calm your heart. But it just, I mean, you can look into it and people have just said wonders about this plant. And if you have to taste it. Like, I just really wanted to taste it because it's crazy. In my opinion, I feel like I taste the sour part of it. Like when I first tried it, like my first sip ever was almost salty, a little bit spicy. It's crazy because it's a berry, but it has these 5 flavors. But now what I mainly taste is like the sour. So it reminds me almost of like a lemonade, like a hibiscus type infusion. Okay, and how do I consume this herb? How do I incorporate it into my life? Well, I bought the dried berries and I made a nourishing herbal infusion. And a nourishing herbal infusion is what I do with most nourishing herbs. Not herbs that have a strong smell, but herbs that have a lot of nutrients. All the little kids are coming. Hi. Herbs that have like a lot of protein, a lot of minerals. These are herbs that I want to infuse for a longer period of time. So what I do is I take about 1 ounce of the dried plant material to a quart of boiling water. And I let it sit at least 4 hours, but most of the time overnight. And with this herb, I just kind of did it by eye, and I ended up putting in like probably like 4 ounces to a quart. If we're talking in grams and liters, so I do like a liter of water and about 30 grams of herb or plant material. But the first time I ever did it, I probably put about 90 grams or 100 grams of the plant material and 1 liter. So it was strong. And it was flavorful, and it was zingy and spicy and incredible. And I drank it over ice, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So you could do that. You can make an infusion, or you can make a decoction. You can like simmer it on low heat for a while, or you could make a tincture, which would be putting it into a jar. Hold on. The night. It is a Saturday night, so there's people going up and down the hill. I went up further to the mountain, but it was a little bit windy up there, and I thought, not a good place to send an audio. Record an audio? No. So here we are amongst the park walkers. But I'm happy that there are people walking in the park with their family. That's so lovely. Anyway, if you want to make a tincture, you would fill up a jar with your plant material and then cover it with 100 proof vodka. In Spain, it's hard to find 100 proof vodka, so I use a lower proof, but it's okay. But the 100 proof is like the golden spot. And because it's dried berries, maybe you want to use less berries, maybe only like half the jar full, because they are going to expand. Or I've even heard third of the jar full of berries, and then fill it up with vodka, and then the berries will expand in the vodka, and it'll just be a lovely creation. You want to leave it there for at least 6 weeks, and then because it's a vodka extraction, you could even just go like pouring off the tincture as you need it. So I highly recommend that you find some Schisandra berry, get some in your life, tell me what you think about it, and yeah, I will let you all know what I think as I continue to use it, because like I said, I've just really met Schisandra recently. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being here. And yeah, talk to you soon. Ciao.